Perks, perks, perks. Today I wanted to take a look at what I believe to be the best perks in Payday 2. I'm still rather new to the game and experimenting with various decks, but there are a few that I have found to stand out above the rest, in both their usefulness and their ability to mix well with various skills. Anyway, here's my top 5 perk decks for Payday 2. Number 5. Crew Chief. The Crew Chief perk deck is the ultimate team players deck. It's very beneficial to have at least one party member with this perk deck active, as its bonus helps out every team member of a crew. In short, this perk deck's main purpose is to increase the stamina, shout range, armor, and health of a player as well as everyone on their team. Besides that, the Crew Chief perk deck also reduces damage taken when in a certain proximity to enemies and during hostage scenarios, making it pair great with the controller skill tree. In some cases, players' builds can even sacrifice skill points that would initially go into the controller skill tree by simply having the Crew Chief perk deck active, leaving plenty of skill points for other skills and build possibilities. Crew Chief is the perfect all-around perk deck in Payday 2 in which every team can benefit greatly from. Number 4. Sociopath. The Sociopath perk deck is another powerful perk deck that's built for aggressive players. This deck significantly reduces damage when surrounded by enemies, recovers armor upon kills, and recovers health upon melee kills. With that being said, a lot of players pair this perk deck with the Brawler skill tree to make unstoppable melee builds. The Sociopath perk deck also allows close to medium range kills to send enemies into a state of fear, which incapacitates them for a short period of time. The Sociopath perk deck is suited for players that like staying in close combat and doing as much damage in short bursts. If you're a player that enjoys being in the middle of a gunfight, surrounded by pure mayhem and bullet hell, then this perk deck might be perfect for you. Number 3. ExPresident. This is a perk deck that I find myself using in a lot of my builds, and is just overall a great perk deck if your build is lacking sustain and survivability. ExPresident is one of the most underrated perk decks in Payday 2. The ExPresident perk deck allows players to restore health in a pretty unique way. Upon getting kills, players build up a storage of health that is applied to their character the moment their shield breaks. The deck itself also increases a player's overall health and armor recovery upon kills, making it a great form of sustainability for players who need that extra bit of health or armor to complete their perfect build. Number 2. Leech. Leech is a perk deck that I've only recently completed, and I've only gotten to try it out in a few different builds. The Leech perk deck revolves around restoring health for players and their teammates. The main focus of the Leech perk deck is its Leech Ample, a throwable that restores 40% health, but it's divided into segments. For every 2 kills, one of these health segments will be restored. Also, the Leech perk deck increases a player's maximum health, and taking damage increases the health of teammates. Overall, the Leech perk deck is a great form of sustainability not only for the player, but helps build survivability throughout an entire team. And finally, number 1, one of my favorite perk decks in the game, Stoic. By far, I'd say the Stoic perk deck is one of my favorite decks in the game and has been easy and seamless to incorporate into many of the builds that I try. The Stoic perk deck is one of the most popular perk decks in Payday 2. Its main focus is survival and damage absorption, making it a great perk deck for players who are looking to create amazing loud builds. In this deck, players gain access to the Stoic Hip Flask, which upon activating reduces damage taken. All of the damage players receive instead are applied over time, and if players manage to go a few seconds without being hit, the damage that's applied will wear off, and half of the remaining damage to be applied is instead given as health. So, if you've ever been taken low by gunfire and ducked under cover for a few seconds to wait for your shield to recover, this perk deck takes that to an entirely different level. The Stoic perk deck is mostly utilized in tank builds, but can also be applied in a medic or support type of build because its sustain allows players the much needed health and damage absorption to go in and rescue other players. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about my top 5, and what are your top 5? What are some of your favorite perks in the game? What are some of your favorite skills in the game? Let me know, I want to hear your feedback.